Hello everybody, Indie Dev Dylan here with another devlog on Hero. Last episode I showcased the new swimming mechanics as well as the updated tiles that I will be using in the game. Today I'm going to be working on the starting area for the game, which will be utilized as a tutorial area and is the hometown of Hero, known as Homlio. So I wanted to start off by showing you what I worked on quite some time ago. This is the hometown that Hero comes from. It's not really that great. You can kind of see it's like very flat, and obviously it is using the older tiles. So I did actually go and start this. I went in and just kind of placed in some stuff. But basically I just wanted to get a little layout going on. And then I'm just gonna start working on this, and I will probably just do a time lapse. Alright, so in the time lapse I just kind of did these windows real quick. I did this. This is like a side of the house, as well as this. I'm planning on adding this kind of brown over here, almost like this, almost like it's an archway of the entrance. So yeah, it would look something kind of like this. It would obviously be lined off and stuff. Let me do that real quick. And I probably need to fix how this curves a little bit. I just kind of drew it in real quick, and then I'm just showing it to you right now as an example. So I'm not sure if I should keep doing that. I'll be continuing this. This is the first house. I'm just kind of setting it up, and obviously there's potential for this house to change a lot because this is my first time really doing a house outside of this. And in this, it's not bad. I know that the original version of this isn't horrible. It's definitely something I realistically could use, but I definitely just want to have something improved. The door, when I built it out, I had this door handle. It's gonna be more like a hand reader, so he'll place his hand on it and he'll just know that, oh, this is Hero. I'm trying to, with the house, trying to set up paneling, almost to look like wood. But yeah, this is what I got so far, and then we'll pick up and keep on going. I think that this progress is good, and one important thing about this area is I do need to make sure that I can incorporate certain things. So I've spent a little bit of time working on the house. I went to the roof, and roofs are actually kind of tricky, so I wanted to try to figure out a method to making the roofs. And what I did first was I did a full-on front view of a house, and then a side view of a house. Then I approximated how the angles would go if you did half and half. So this is displaying half of the dark side, and this is half of the light side. So therefore the angle that these go at would be half of this light blue angle and half of this light blue angle. So when you average the two together, you get this red angle that is the combined surface. And then what I went and did is I did something similar here, but instead I only did one tile over, which is what I'm trying to do over here. In doing that, it basically was sampling 10% of this side, and then the rest was this side, 90%. So what I did was I took 90% of this angle and 10% of this angle, added them together to get the average angle, and I came up with this angle right here on these two spots. So that's, I guess, an interesting way to do roofs. I think it's right. There's probably easier methods. I'm not really like a crazy art person, especially when it comes to like 3D art and doing perspective and stuff. But I think this actually will work pretty well. And now I just kind of need to apply the coloration. I think I'm going to make the house entirely out of brick. I think it would just look better if it was just kind of one thing. I'll try to add like a texturing to it so it's not all this like pinkish red color. Maybe there will be like some browns in there thrown around, and I will update you when I'm done doing that. Now, using this model, I was able to create a more readable version of the house. This is a house. I did a post showcasing this new house, and I think this is a lot better than the older version for sure. And I really like how it looks, how it turned out. But there is one problem. I don't really like the scale of the house. It's very small. Even though Hero's like half the size of the door, if you think about the practicalities of just having space in the house, this is probably like a one-person house. And Hero, he's a kid, he lives with his parents. I didn't want to use this as Hero's house. Instead, I'm going to do something else so I can get an idea of the scale of his house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the interior of his house, because that is a place that is in the game. Now, even if you are making a game similar to mine and you don't really know how to scale buildings, I think this is an interesting recommendation. At least get an idea of what's inside the building, and just blocking things out, you'll be able to figure out how big your houses should be. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll be able to better understand what Hero's house should be scaled to. I also wanted to show that I did this tree here. I'm not sure if it's gonna be in the level or anything, but I did just place it down here, lining up with the grass, just to get a sampling idea of how it would look in a level, or in this area specifically. I also built out a bigger version of a tree over here, and this is the original house I did. I'm not gonna keep this kind of thing in here. I think it's a little too much depth, and this is like the whole, if you think about it, this is the whole entirety of the side of the house. That means this door is like very far back technically, and that wouldn't make sense. But this here, this kind of dark outlining, I think compensates for that, and I think it looks a lot better. But I did this tree, this bigger version of the tree here, and the way I did that was I used a custom brush I made, and I used the spray brush when using this custom brush to create these bushes here, and also to, of course, create the leaves in the trees. And then I just drew in the tree trunks, and this is how it looks so far. This is pretty much how his house will probably look. I'm definitely gonna fix some things here and there as I go on, but I'm gonna start with the interior of his house. Alright, so here's what I've been working on. This is Hero's room, but I also did a few other things. When playing the game, Hero starts in his room, where he will be leaving his house. So I have to kind of get a layout of the house so I know what the level is like. So from here, I built out this door, and going out of the door, it takes you here. I flipped the camera, so I had to flip where the door is in relation to like the width of the house. So it's all of this right here, and I had to flip the door, and the door ends up on the left side instead of like right here on the right side. This room right here is probably gonna just be a bathroom. I don't know if you'll really even be able to go to it. And then here are the stairs that will take you to the living room. Going down to the living room, this is what I have so far. This is where the stairs end off. I don't know how I'm gonna display the stairs. Hero doesn't come down like this where it's front facing. The stairs are blocking where the camera kind of is facing. So this right here is the final room, and this blue door will be the front door of his house. When he goes through that, the camera will technically be flipping again, and you will be seeing the front of the house, where the blue door will be on the left side, and whatever windows I decide to put on this front wall here will also be displayed. So from this, I actually have a really good idea of the scale of the house, and I'm actually going to move back into Homlio and start working on the exterior, since the interior did take quite some time doing all these intricate little details and just making sure everything looks good and is readable. So I'm gonna go back to working on Homlio. Heading back outside, this is what I have so far of the exterior, and I'm actually gonna do a time lapse of me completing the rest of the building. Starting on the house, I begin with working on the roof of the house. I just want to make sure everything is proportioned properly and it looks good. One of the problems I kind of had when working on this was I just didn't like how the house looked. It felt very boxy and not really structured well. The orange line, you might notice, is about like halfway across, and that's to represent the different levels of the house, the first floor and the second floor, just so I know where everything goes. But I just work on this for a little while. I might polish it up a little bit more off camera. We'll see what happens. And I just hope you enjoy the rest of this time lapse, and thank you for the support. I've been Indie Dev Dylan. Thank you for watching.